Well, schools in the inland provinces of Gauteng, Free State, Mpumalanga and North West will be opening this week. Hundreds of pupils will be going to school for the first time, and this could be a cultural shock for many of them. Human potential and parenting expert Nikki joins us now to give parents some tips on how to help their little children settle into their new routine. Nikki, thank you so much for your time this morning. Let's talk a little bit about how it is business unusual for many of the children, especially those that will be going to school for the first time. We're now in a COVID-19 pandemic, which means that kids no longer just play freely. Kids now get to school and actually wear masks. Just talk to us about the realities that will be confronted by children as they head on over to school.
Faith, it's really important that as parents we think back to our own experiences of going to school, first term jitters, I call it, and the fact that when you start a new job you also feel a little bit uncomfortable and anxious. So it's perfectly normal. Change is new and it's all about the unfamiliar, and whether children are starting high school, primary school or preschool, the anxiety will be up because they're having to get used to all things new. A new teacher, a new classroom, new playground, new friends, new rules, new timetables, and that includes, of course, all the social distancing, wearing of masks, all those things. I think children are reasonably used to that now, but it's still not normal for children not to be able to see each other's faces. And so it does impact on communication. We need to talk to our kids about the fact that they need to speak a little slower and open their mouths a little wider when they speak so that people can hear them and understand them. But it is very, very important for children to be socialized, to be with each other. It's been totally unnatural and tricky in terms of child development for children to be apart. And one thing that we must remember about change, although it is unsettling, it's also the stimulus for all growth. So we need to understand that change is actually important for children if we want them to grow up to be resourceful and resilient, and they will slowly build up their competence and their confidence in their new environment.
Speaking about the new environment as well, Nikki, you and I both know that when we were starting school, we would share everything, right? From lunch boxes to fizzes to suckers and the like. There are no sort of germs when it comes to kiddie land. But in this case, we have to be very well aware. Children now have to sanitize consistently. They cannot share what they used to share as much. And how is it that parents can begin inculcating some of those lessons within them and ingraining them? Because when you're 6 years old or 7 years old and you're jumping up and down that jungle gym, you're not thinking of COVID-19. You're thinking, I should share a sucker with my friend.
Yes, absolutely. So in a way, COVID has upset the natural order of things. And I must tell you that when my children were starting school, we were dealing with HIV/AIDS, and we had to talk to our kids about blood. You know, if you're on the jungle gym and somebody starts bleeding, don't touch the blood. Call the teacher. And so, you know, we have to drip feed this information to our children on a regular basis because they have a very short memory span. So, yeah, unfortunately, this is part of their reality. But by the same token, we need to believe in our children's resilience and their ability to cope. And as long as they know what the plan is, and that plan gets repeatedly, you know, told to them at home and at school, this is what we do at home, this is what we do at school to protect ourselves and to protect each other, it does eventually settle in and it becomes the norm.
Yeah. In terms of a routine, what would be an ideal or effective routine for a child?
Well, I'm so glad you've asked about routine, Faith, because it's one of the cornerstones of reducing the anxiety of children when they're going through newness and change. And many parents don't actually think about this. And routine, while we think about it as time, it's actually the order of things. It's the order in which the day unfolds. And if children know what the order of things is, that when we wake up, and you might be a family that showers in the morning, we wake up, we shower, we get dressed for school, we sit down, we have breakfast, and then we grab our bags and we get in the car and we go to school. And there's also a routine at the end of the day. And that routine, the order of things needs to stay the same. Even if you get caught in a traffic jam, say at the end of the day, and your plans are thrown out by 20 minutes, just keep the order of things the same, and that will provide family sanity. purely because it is predictable. And where there is predictability, there is a feeling of safety and security. And children feel like they have, in a way, more agency and a sense of control. And you just need to have, say, the electricity go down or have no water in the morning and not be able to shower to know what an upset apple cart actually looks like. So as far as possible, keep the order, the sequence of what happens in the day the same.